We got some major insane rules news today, and I can't even believe some of the stories I'm about to announce. So stay tuned for this one, and also, by the way, please subscribe. We're getting so close to 10k, and we're trying to reach it soon, so please subscribe, and let's get into it. And we have several stories, so I'm going to start with the first one being this. We're already seeing news to it saying, after being removed for several years, Roblox is working on a remastered version of parties on the Roblox app. And as we can see here, going forward, this is how it's going to work. You're going to have the ability to start a party and stuff like that. It's going to give you a list of all your friends, it's going to tell you what game they're in, and as you can see here, it's like a whole revamp, and when you're in a party, it's going to say you're in a party with whoever, which is very cool. The Robux Party feature, I feel like, was a forgotten feature for so long, and people desperately wanted it back, and we're getting it back, it seems like, very soon. And it's back in a pretty good way. It seems actually very good. And in general, this year so far, Roblox is in general on a pretty good streak, you know. They brought back the hunt event, stuff like that, and they're bringing back good updates. But the news following is kind of ruining their streak, but at least we're off to a good start. Because with that being said, next they actually are apparently adding a new death sound effect. So as I'm sure we're all aware by now, Roblox had a big commotion and situation with the ooh sound effect where the creator of the ooh sound effect got mad, so they had to remove it. And then there's this whole thing of them potentially bringing it back, and it's very confusing what's going on. But eventually there's like that weird death effect that we have right now that I'm sure we're all familiar with. But apparently in the Roblox files, it was leaked that there might be a new one. I'm gonna play the video right here from RTC. So yeah, it does sound kind of weird and kind of different, but to be fair, the other one sounded different and weird too. And if you guys listen closely, it does sound like the voice actor behind this is saying oof. So it seems like they're trying to recreate the oof sound effect and bring it back, but in just a different way so we don't get sued and stuff like that like last time. Which honestly, it is very weird, but it is still pretty cool that they're trying to bring it back in some way. And in general right now, I guess you can classify this as a good update because they kind of brought back the oof sound. Yes, it's different, but the noise, I guess, is still there. So with that being said, I guess so far we got 2 decent updates. Nothing too crazy, but the next few I'm going to cover are just absurd. Because firstly, RTC News was saying this, where they said, starting June 1st, all Roblox toy code items will be going limited, which is pretty crazy, as you can see here. The Deadly Dark Dominus, for example, which is a super rare item, is now going to be able to be resold for a bunch of Robux, and all toy codes now are going to be able to be resold for a bunch of Robux, which is insane. Like, toy codes, I feel like so much people have them, and they're like kind of exclusive if you think about it. But now the fact they're going to be limited and you're going to be able to sell them is actually very interesting. And going forward in the future, I feel like if you buy the right like codes and stuff and the right gift cards at the right time, you could probably make a profit actually. Because you can buy like a $10 gift card, get an item, and if the item's rare, you can resell it for more than $10. So honestly, it's actually a really good update from Roblox. A lot of people are concerned for this and saying this is bad, but if you think about it, it's actually kind of cool, and it opens up a lot of potential. So I mean, I was going to say this was a bad update, but the more I think about it, it's actually not that bad, and also very crazy. Like, limiteds right now are already pretty crazy with usually limiteds, but this is going to make it even crazier. And going forward right now, I mean, very crazy. The Deadly Dark Dominus too and stuff like that, imagine how much that's going to sell for, probably so much money. So like I said, the next few are going to be bad, and to be fair, the last one wasn't that bad, but now I can guarantee you 100%, the next few are just wild. Like, I don't even know why Roblox is adding this stuff. Because firstly, Roblox said this, where they said, Roblox will soon be introducing a map feature that will allow you to find other users nearby, giving you a new way to connect with others. So yeah, as you can see here, with your Roblox friends now, I guess people in like your contacts too, you can now see if players are nearby and stuff like that and get their location, which is very crazy. And obviously, besides like the in general features just being very insane, a lot of people are obviously concerned for the safety features behind this. Because like, imagine someone hacks your account and then they can just see your location and everyone else's location. But to be fair, RTC followed up saying that there's going to be a new setting now to change like who can see me on the map. So if you don't want your friends to see you on the map, you can turn it off. But if you want your friends to see you on the map, or everyone, I think you can set the location too. You can do that now too if you really want to, which is kind of interesting. I know other people have tried this feature out on like other social media platforms, and Roblox is trying their best to be like a social media platform these days, and it seems like this is their first step to it, where you can share your location with your friends. Very interesting Roblox update, and honestly kind of concerning, I can't even lie. But with that being said, the interesting updates don't end here, because next he said this, Roblox will soon produce physical debit cards, which can be used to distribute Roblox credits to people's accounts. So yeah, this is pretty insane. I'm kind of confused how this works, because if you're just distributing Robux, isn't that just like a Roblox gift card? I don't really know how it works, but from my best understanding, basically it's just like a real, credit card, how it works in real life. But instead of putting money in it, you can put Robux into it. So I guess that's a difference here. With a Robux gift card, you're buying Robux, and then you get like a set amount. But with this one, you can put as much Robux you want into it, and then it can just be traded off to other people. You can give them Robux and stuff like that. And in general, it's very interesting. And with it being an official debit card, a lot of people are wondering if you could use this in the real world, and potentially it might be, which is very crazy. Imagine you're at like Walmart and you see someone paying with their Roblox gift card. That'd be kind of crazy, but going forward in the future, that's what we're going to be seeing, because that's the future apparently, which is very insane. Out of nowhere, Roblox announced some very insane updates these days, and honestly, a lot of them are pretty wild if you think about it. But deep down, if you really think about it, these updates obviously aren't jokes. You know, who would joke about such a thing? As we've seen over these past few years, Roblox's whole goal has been trying to age up the platform. They added 18 up games and stuff like that. They did a lot of stuff for over 13 users, and they've been trying to age up the platform for so long now. You know, they allow swearing and stuff too. So with that being said, as we can see here with these new features, they're kind of adding stuff for presumably older players. There hasn't been age limits provided on all these because these updates are in the early stages, but I assume it's going to be for older players, you know. For example, sharing the location and stuff like that, and the debit card and stuff like that. Like, these are all clearly intended for older players, and I think that's the situation and the reason Roblox is doing all this, because as we can see, they want to age their platform so bad, and it seems like now they're kind of getting desperate because they're doing some pretty insane stuff. And speaking of which, next they announced probably their most groundbreaking and insane update yet, because they announced that they're actually going to be getting rid of Robux completely, because they realized that they're going to be just replacing it with real money purchases instead. So now going forward in the future, you're no longer going to be able to buy stuff with Robux and stuff like that. It's all going to be real money instead. And if you guys remember, a few months ago, Roblox actually talked about this on the news, David Baszucki himself, and it seems like in the news interview, he mentioned how he wants to add this in the future, and the future is now, I guess, because they're going to be adding it very soon. But there's actually a bright side to this whole story, because apparently in the Roblox files, there's like a vulnerability found where you can actually get infinite Robux codes. I think it'll probably ban you if you get too much because it'll be suspicious, so you have to use it wisely. But it seems like right now you can get a bunch of free Robux. And the person who leaked this is actually the person who leaked the free private server thing. So we know it's someone who actually knows how to do proper vulnerabilities, which is very insane. And I guess get as much Robux as you can right now before they change it. Because I'm pretty sure when they change it, you can't like convert your Robux. They're just gonna get rid of everyone's Robux, I heard, in the files, which is kind of crazy. That is kind of messed up. Imagine like Hasm, for example. You know, I don't know what he's gonna do with all his Robux. But going forward, Roblox is gonna be a thing of the past, which is very insane. And with it all being said, as I'm sure it's obvious by now, I am uploading this a bit late actually. It is still April Fool's. You know, in my time zone, I'm going to be uploading this on April Fool's, but this entire video is just a joke. On my main channel video, I covered news from parody accounts, and then following the entire day, a lot of real news accounts were posting joke stories. So I thought that, just for some fun, I'm going to cover all the joke stories that actual news accounts have been tweeting, because some of them are actually pretty funny and just mess around with, and some of them are actually kind of believable. Like, most of these obviously are a bit far-fetched, but like the party feature, for example, is kind of reasonable. And honestly, the Robux like getting rid of is kind of reasonable in some sense, because I wasn't lying when I said Roblox talked about that in the news. That actually was a real thing. But I'm pretty sure David Baszucki was talking more so about different aspects of Roblox back then, because they did add this. Like, if you guys remember, recently they said that stuff on the developer marketplace is only going to be bought with real money now. Like, that's actually serious. I'm not joking about that. But in general, with that being said, all this news was just a joke, and I'm just messing around for April Fools, having a little bit of fun. It's not that serious. And if you enjoyed, check this video for some real news, and please subscribe too while you're at it. I'll see you in the next one.